Car shopping's confusing. A lot of terms. Dealer price, list price, invoice. What does it mean? It means if you have a new or used car, go to TrueCar.com. Check out their true price. A more car confident buying experience. Nick Wright in 10 minutes joining us. Greg Cosell next hour. Jane Slater, Rob Parker too. So yesterday I said, and I've been pretty good on this. Joy saw me last year say this. I pick a team, and this is the way it works in the NFL. This is not a debate. There's at least one team every year in the NFL that was really good, and they fall through the floor. It happens every year. I just happen to predict the last two, Minnesota and Jacksonville. I'm predicting New Orleans this year. And so Michael Thomas signed a contract yesterday, and everybody's like, what you say now, Colin? You're still falling through the floor. We all thought you were signing Michael Thomas. I didn't like the holdout situation. I thought it was a distraction, but is Drew Brees getting younger? Is Mark Ingram coming back? Is your schedule getting easier? New Orleans, it's over. You're falling through the floor. Okay, the Saints offense last year, and this is how I know Tom Brady and Drew Brees don't do steroids. Drew Brees at the end of the last year looked tired. Your offense was a pop gun offense. Just like Tom Brady didn't play well in the Super Bowl. Tom Brady didn't play well in the AFC Championship. Tom Brady didn't have a great December. Why? Because Drew and Tom are old, and they don't age particularly well when the weather gets cold and they get hit and their 500 throws in. So did Drew Brees get younger yesterday with a Michael Thomas signing? No. We all knew Michael Thomas was coming back. The reason I have the Saints falling through the floor is Carolina and Atlanta have excellent rosters and excellent head coaches, and I think they bounce back. I think the Saints' schedule in the first month is the toughest in the NFL, and the organization knows OBJ was a luxury for Cleveland. Cleveland already has a quarterback in their athletic peak, Baker. They have Jarvis Landry, David Njoku. They have a stable of good running backs. They didn't need OBJ, but it's nice to have him. Michael Thomas is a necessity for the Saints. He is a necessity. Mark Ingram's gone. Max Unger retired. Tom Brady's division hands him about 5 wins a year guaranteed. This division doesn't hand you any wins guaranteed except maybe hosting Tampa. You can go 0-2 against Carolina. You can go 0-2 against Atlanta. And Tampa can certainly beat you in Tampa. So Michael Thomas doesn't change anything. We knew he'd be a Saint because he has to be a Saint. Drew Brees last year had the fewest attempts in 14 years. Drew Brees threw under 4,000 yards for the first time in his Saints career. The organization knows he needs more help now. They know he was not the same quarterback at the end of the year, and I love Drew Brees. He's in my great 8, the 8 best quarterbacks I've ever seen play. I am a huge fan, and I love Brady. But Brady in December on is not as good as he is in October and November. And the same for Drew Brees. Listen, the Saints, 3 of the 4 top cap hits for the Saints, offensive linemen. The organization now is loading up their offense and paying for their offense. New England pays for defensive players. The Saints are paying for offensive players. Why? Drew needs more help now. So Michael Thomas wasn't a luxury. Michael Thomas doesn't change anything. Michael Thomas was a necessity for this football team. A highly productive, athletic peak perimeter player for an aging quarterback who lost Max Unger and Mark Ingram. And who now, December on, looks like a guy who's 39, 40, who's not taking PEDs. He looks like a normal human being, how they age late in the football season. Joy with the news.
No.
Turn on the news. This is the Herdline News.
All right, so we're all on Zeke watch right now. Zeke is considered the best or one of the best running backs in the NFL over the last 3 seasons of his career.
Yeah.
And buried under the car accident lawsuit news last night was a report from Josina Anderson, who said, just received another positive update on the Zeke extension status. Still needs time, but if things continue on the same track, I expect Elliott to be the highest paid running back in the NFL across certain metrics. Jives with the same tone I heard last Friday. Obviously, nothing is done until signed. So,
now, what was that thing you said about the wreck?
Oh, he has a lawsuit. Remember the accident that he was in?
Yeah.
I believe it was last year.
Yeah.
And it kind of 2017, and it kind of just got brushed under,
Okay.
the rug. there was no injuries in it,
Yeah.
but apparently he was being sued by the person that he hit, and now they're trying to sue the Cowboys, and it's a
Oh, Lord.
whole mess. It's probably not going to happen because, legal stuff, but it is something else with Zeke right now. But Josina is saying that it's trending towards he's going to get an extension, and a very big extension at that. Now, Todd Gurley is the highest paid running back right now in multiple metrics. His total value is $57.5 million, which ranks first, and his yearly average is $14.4 million, with $45 million in guarantees, and was not a huge factor in the Super Bowl this year. Now, I'm all for everyone getting paid. I would love for everyone to make as much money as possible, but obviously the NFL is not structured that way. I just think it's a mistake to take care of Zeke before you take care of that.
And Amari. And listen, it's we'll see how it plays out. This is just not a position I just have so many examples of teams who don't do this. Zeke's best argument is, I'm the best at my position. If you're the best in your position in the world, you generally get paid in all sports, in music, and entertainment. If you're the best actor, best actress, Serena's going to get paid. She should. Like, if
I'm
you're the
not
best,
saying he doesn't deserve it. I'm just saying, can it wait till next year?
Yeah. He forced it, and so this is where you're at.
Dallas is 28-12 with him. They average 361.5 yards per game and 4.7 yards per rush. They're 4-4 without him.
Not the same team.
No, I mean, and a lot of people argue that the reason that Zach is as successful as he is because of Zeke, but you can argue that in a lot of directions.
But yeah, Amari Cooper, similarly, if you look at Dak with and without Amari, he's a different quarterback. So I can make an argument. Amari has he was 7-2 with Amari Cooper.
Other than Tom Brady, can you give me multiple examples of quarterbacks who are elite level with no talent? Or minimal talent around them, or pieces here and there.
Philadelphia's got average backs and average receivers. I think they have a great system, and I think Carson Wentz is a very unique talent. Who I don't love Philadelphia. I love Philadelphia's line play. I'm really meh on everything else. I love their structure and their line play. So I wouldn't sign this contract with Zeke, but listen, the Dallas knows what they're doing. They appear to be well run last 5 years. They're going to pay him early, and here we go.
Well, and another team that's in a little bit of a pickle right now, the Dolphins. I would describe it more of as a mess than a pickle, but they have a quarterback battle. As I always say, if you have more than one quarterback, you have no quarterback.
That's weird.
Well, Brian Flores announced that Ryan Fitzpatrick has a leg up on Josh Rosen right now.
All right.
It's pretty clear to me that Ryan Fitzpatrick is leading the way. I think he's done that in a lot of areas, from leadership to production on the field. He's been more productive. At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. He runs the offense very efficiently. He has great rapport with the entire team. He has a lot of leadership ability. We need that to continue. We need him to grow in that role. This is an ongoing competition, but right now, I think I'd say he's leading the way.
I never feel like the Dolphins. I don't understand the Dolphins. They're kind of rudderless. As an organization, I just never know where they're going.
I was very excited about this move with Brian Flores. I was very excited about the trade for Josh Rosen. And I thought that Ryan Fitzpatrick was a good piece to the development puzzle.
Right.
But it makes no sense at all in any way to start Ryan Fitzpatrick unless you're just scared of losing your job, which you're not going to lose because they just hired you. The Dolphins aren't that dysfunctional.
So you're basically complaining you don't know the direction of the Dolphins.
And who does? This is not. I don't want to hear this. You just traded for Josh Rosen. Ryan Fitzpatrick is 50-75-1 as an NFL starter. He is a backup quarterback. He's a savvy veteran for sure, but let him teach Josh Rosen how to be a professional. I feel bad for Josh Rosen. Really, where you get drafted matters. The system that you go into matters.
Yes.
The front office matters. And the coaching matters. And Josh Rosen has had two really bad breaks so far. And this is not helping his confidence either.
Yeah.
So what you're telling me is you're really interested in being average, not getting a high draft pick next year, and not making any progress with Josh Rosen. Because that's what you're doing if you start Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Dolphins are a hard... I feel this with bad football teams in the NFL, there's one constant thread. I can't, from the outside, have a sense of what they're doing. Like, by the way, you can be like Cleveland is rebuilding and has been bad, but I know what they're doing. They're saying, we got Baker on a rookie contract. We're going to get a lot of talent for like 2 years until we have to pay Baker. So I see where Cleveland's going. They didn't need OBJ, but they're like, we got the money. We're not paying Baker anything.
Right.
I saw what the Rams were doing. We're not paying Goff anything. Let's take a chance on Aqib Talib. Let's go with Ndamukong Suh. They weren't perfect guys in the locker room. I almost always, even bad teams or teams that are building, I get where they're going. I never understand where Miami's going.
There's no identity. There's no direction.
I like their helmets.
Yeah. I mean, it's beautiful down there. It's hot right now, though. All right. Finally, player mobility obviously has become more frequent than ever in the NBA. But Zion, however, doesn't seem interested in following that trend. If he has it his way, he'll spend his whole career with the Pelicans. In an interview with Complex, he said, "I've always told myself I want to stay with one team. Growing up, I loved what Kobe did and Dirk did. Some people stay with one team, but they get traded. My intentions are to stay with the Pelicans my whole career. But if something happens, I wouldn't leave because I hate the place. It's just the business." So he left a little crack in the window there at the end of the answer, but I could see this from Zion. He feels like that kind of player.
I think it's a great thing to say. I do believe Magic would have left had he not been picked by the Lakers. I think Magic was too magnetic to play in Charlotte. I think Shaq was too big to play in Orlando. The question isn't whether he likes New Orleans or David Griffin, because I do think the roster's fun. Does he become so magnetic that the league, the gravitational pull of the league? I mean, look at this, Joy. KD ends up in Silicon Valley, then New York. LeBron ends up eventually in Miami and Los Angeles.
Right.
The history of this league is, with very few exceptions, when you're super magnetic, the shoe company, the agent, the league, the teams.
Yeah, there's some other factors that start weighing in it.
It's not even your fault. It's just you get pulled into Shaq had a beautiful house on the Butler chain of lakes in Orlando. I saw it. But the league is just pulling and Nike and shoes and
yeah. Well, that's what I said. He left a little crack in the window there at the end. If something happens, it's not because I hate the place. He also talked in the interview about playing with R.J. Barrett, and he said that they had talked about it when they were in college about, wanting to play together eventually. Right. So he said, if it works out, if not, we understand.
Michael Jordan gets drafted by Sacramento. He doesn't end up there. Michael goes to Chicago. Well, who was in Chicago when Michael was emerging? Oprah and Siskel and Ebert. So you had media superstars in Chicago.
Right, and Michael didn't spend his whole career there either.
Right.
But
I think he's going to be so magnetic. The challenge is, can you just keep the Zion business in a small city, the business of Zion.
And winning helps you do that.
I think they're going to win some games there. Joy with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.